From Sam's Town in Vegas, we're here for the title matches of today's JBT event. Sergio Torres on one heck of a roll, looking to sweep the weekend here. But he's got to go past a tough customer in Sorel Cardenas. Pulled in Super Survivor today, so from 10 semifinalists, the low game and low series was out every round. Sorel, the overwhelming total pinfall leader, but you can always go out at any time, and he had to strike in the 10th frame of his last game to survive over Cortez. He got the strike, and here he is bowling for the title. The first of two titles that he's going to bowl for today, as 4th place finisher TJ Rock is going to play Sorel in the U17 title match, and obviously we haven't been able to get to that yet, so we'll do it in a little bit of OT later on. I don't particularly want to talk about OT right now. It was not kind to me today. I hate football very much, but it happens. Handicap division semifinals here: William Robbins, Mark Sauvé, and Sam Espiritu, who seems to always do well at Sam's Town, go figure, are the final three over there. They're playing standard survivor that round, with the two survivors headed off to the title game. Sorel, all that power, went double spare strike in the 5th, but Torres has started off with a 4-bagger to take the early lead. Very interesting that we have two two-handers left on Cheetah, a pattern which wouldn't necessarily on theory be conducive to the Cheetah bowlers, to the two-handed bowlers, as you think of a two-hander as stand left and spray right. Both of these bowlers way more talented than that outdated model. They know how to square up and get right and control your lines. And what a breakthrough weekend for Sergio so far. Went 240 in game 5 yesterday to squeeze into the cut, then shot 740 in match play on a very low scoring day to take the lead, and then escaped against Cortez for the title. Today he opens with a 296 game. Stayed at or near the top of the board all day, and no real threats to him in Super Survivor so far, and here he is with front 5 in another title match. Who is this Torres guy? Sergio's Town. It's gonna be really expensive to change all that lettering. I know I used that line on the 296 game too, but oh well. Pretty good shot, just doesn't get the light hit to carry, so the string ends at 5. Keeps Sorel hanging around in this match. Two bowlers that can strike a ton. Look pretty comfortable on this Cheetah pattern, or as it's now known, the Buttriff pattern. Of course, every pattern is the Buttriff pattern right now, so I don't know. What are you bowling on today? Buttriff. Oh, what are you bowling on tomorrow? Buttriff. What are you bowling on next week? Oh, probably Buttriff. Likes to hook at it at the 4, and woof. The last thing Sergio wants to see is another 9 dash in a title match. He missed 2 10-pins yesterday that almost cost him the title. Pretty rare that you get away with that. Sorel wants to climb back here. He can get within 12 pins if he can strike here in the 6th and 7th. An absolute striking machine when he gets on one, and he has been on one all day long. There you go. Just maximum revolutions. He posts that follow through using a very weak ball in order to keep his lines as far straight and right as possible. Sergio covering more boards than Sorel, even though similar rotation. He's just unable to go quite as flat as Sorel, but he's still got essentially the same break point. You want the out to 5 board fairly late. If Cardenas gets this, let's see if he puts a little move on it after that. Got it out. Got it back. Man. Cheetah's one of those skills that you either have it or you don't. The bowlers that like Cheetah and know how to match up to it well will score just fine today. Those who didn't struggled, and you really saw that in the handicap cut. The handicap cut was 100 down. That's pretty rare in handicap, but they're just not as familiar with the somewhat unusual stuff that you have to do to play that edge shot. And you grow up these days, stand left, throw right. Stand right, stand right, keep it right is not what you ordinarily do on house pattern, so that's why handicap struggled overall a little bit more than Scratch, and certainly the top Scratch players. Meanwhile, as I babble on, Sergio gets a great break, caving in the high hit there. Maintains his 12-pin lead that he can re-extend to 22 if he can strike in the 8th. You see the top players do this on Cheetah too. It can be brutally tough if you don't know, but you can light them up if you're locked in. Got out. Just opens up a can on that rack. The 4-6, the last thing to fall out on a light hit. It's a game with which I am not personally familiar, but I get to watch it every week, and more power to him, literally. Well, Sergio kind of hold serve there. Let's see if Sorrell can do the same, but he's more in the must strike scenario here. Way out! Oh, and just an inch too far. Both these bowlers trust in the shot right. And when your break point's the 2 board, you only got to miss by 2 boards to throw it into that giant gray board over there, and he did. And of course, all the count loss and just a catastrophic spot in the 8th frame there. Right back out there again. Yeah. Boy, for as good as they are at it, the numbers they put up, a fine margin of error. It really shows you how good they are to keep hitting that 2 board over and over again. Trusted his game though. It's not going to be any consolation to him, but, and again, it doesn't work well on the scoreboard either, but it's almost better to gutter. It means at least you trusted it out there. You could pull a Kyle Reed and try and hit the head pin in 21 and barely clip the 7 on its way off the lane. But it all worked. He got exactly 21 and won $100 today. Oh, no! Well, it was his turn to hold serve, and instead gutter ball solid 8 is going to end his run at the title. He will try and get his revenge against TJ in the U17 coming up here, but it's going to be a tough pill to swallow title match loss here, as he had the pinfall lead by a considerable margin. Came up with the goods last game to get here, but Torres applied maximum pressure and forced Sorrell to make sure that ball got out. It did. Sam's found great host this weekend. Love having the logo up on the screens and everything. And what else good can you say about Sergio Torres? He said yesterday he's one of those guys where you say, I can't believe he doesn't have more titles. And maybe this is the start of racking them up. 3rd career title, first time he's swept a weekend, obviously. One happy mama and papa. I see mama. Oh, papa's hiding for once. I've been taking a lot of pictures all day. Whoops, that's what happens when you miss left. Runaway 5. And who cares? Surge, maybe, there you go. Surgestown would take less letters, so we just have to get rid of the AM and add an ERGI. Oh, no, it's still, no. Oh boy, I don't know. I'll work on it. Whoops, I'll let you know later. So Torres will be in the 250s, and he is torrid. There, that's a better line. That'll make the website. There you go. That's better. Sam, Mark, and William getting down to the 10th frame over there. See how that plays out. What an impressive weekend for the dominant player of this time at Samstown. Two-team for Sorrell. That was really close to being 250-ish as well. He will regroup next game. We will regroup for the handicap division title match. which will be watched closely by this guy, Tom the Man at Sam's. I saw your name up on the high scoreboard there, rotating through.
Had a very exciting summer, a couple eights.
Woo. Just a formality, it'll be 258 to 220 something. Remember, folks, Sorrell's still in the U17, so he could be doing this for a long time. He's going to be doing it next week in the U.S. Open. He put his money in. He's going to shoe up against the biggest boys. That'll be fun to watch him all next week. Extremely respectable 226. Those are two talented kids right there. See what happens in handicap coming up.